Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're going to talk about something I think a lot of us dream about, taking the family on an amazing Mediterranean holiday. But we're going to do it a little differently. We're talking big adventures and unforgettable culture, without the giant price tag.
You know, when you picture a family trip to the Med, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it one of those massive all-inclusive resorts just packed to the gills with people? And you probably just assume it's going to cost an absolute fortune, right? Well, get ready, because we are about to challenge that whole idea. And this quote right here, it absolutely nails it. The whole idea is that if you're willing to step just a little bit off that main tourist track, what you find is so much more rewarding. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. So, let's get right to it and bust this mega resort myth wide open. Look, this isn't just about finding a cheaper holiday, it's about finding a richer one. It's about swapping those crowded buffet lines for real, authentic village life. So where do you even start looking for these experiences? Well, let's kick things off with families who love a bit of adventure. Okay, for all of you nature lovers out there, we're looking at islands where you can really, truly get wild. I'm talking about places where nature isn't just some pretty background scenery, it's the main event.
Our two top picks for nature-loving families are Majorca and Corsica. Now, Majorca gives you this fantastic mix of rugged, outdoorsy adventure and really vibrant street life. Meanwhile, Corsica is just pure, raw, untamed wilderness and these incredibly dramatic coastlines. So, what kind of adventures are we really talking about here?
Oh, forget just lying on a beach all day. This is the real deal. In Majorca, you could be hiking or biking through these stunning limestone mountains, or you could try coast-steering, canyoning, or even caving. And you have to explore the Dragon Caves underground lake. It's incredible. Then you hop over to Corsica, and you could be hiking the world-famous GR20 trail or taking boat trips to see these jaw-dropping, rusty red rock formations. I mean, this is what active, memorable family time is all about.
And you might be thinking, okay, that sounds amazing, but what's it going to cost me? Well, check this out. In Majorca, you can stay in a historic 18th century farmstay. They call it an agriturismo for around 268 euros. Or get this, in Corsica, a junior suite with a pool near the sea for just 96 euros a night. We're talking about authentic places that connect you right to the heart of the local culture.
All right, so what if your family are less adrenaline junkies and more history buffs? What if you love a good story? Well, how about a trip that literally feels like traveling back in time? Let's check out some islands that are just soaked in ancient history.
Okay, for our history lovers, we've got Gozo, Rhodes, and Cyprus. And seriously, each one is like walking through a living museum. Gozo has history that is literally older than the pyramids. Rhodes is this incredible tapestry of Roman, Turkish, and Italian history all woven together. And Cyprus? It just perfectly blends ancient ruins with gorgeous nature trails. I mean, just stop and really think about this for a second. On this tiny island of Gozo, which is just a quick 30-minute ferry ride from Malta, your kids can actually walk among temples that are 5,500 years old. That is a history lesson they will never, ever forget.
And here's the best part. You can have this totally profound historical experience while staying at a charming, rustic farmhouse B&B for just 72 euros a night. 72? It just goes to show you that a deep dive into history doesn't have to break the bank. It's incredibly accessible.
And the adventure doesn't stop there. Imagine wandering through the absolutely gorgeous village of Lindos and Rhodes, or letting your kids romp through the underground tombs of the kings in Cyprus. How cool is that? Or rampling along the ramparts of the ancient hilltop citadel in Gozo. This is history you can touch and feel.
Okay, last but definitely not least, let's move beyond just nature or history and look at islands that offer a full-on immersion in local culture and food. You know, the kind of trip that engages all of your senses.
So here, we're looking at Kefalonia, an island straight out of Greek myths, with literary fame and amazing wildlife like loggerhead turtles. And then there's Sardinia, which combines these mysterious Bronze Age ruins with, I'm telling you, some of the most incredible local food you will ever taste.
Now, a lot of you have probably heard of Kefalonia from the book or the movie Captain Corelli's Mandolin. It has this almost mythical reputation for beauty, right? So you'd think staying there would be way out of reach for a normal family budget, but you'd be wrong.
How does this sound? 82 euros a night. That's for a family apartment with a pool that faces the sea. Yeah, you can literally put your family right in the middle of this iconic, stunningly beautiful landscape for a tiny fraction of what you'd expect to pay.
And this comparison in Sardinia, well, it really says it all.
You could go to a luxury resort and pay an eye-watering €590 or more per night. Or, for a tiny fraction of that cost, you could be exploring mysterious Bronze Age towers and then feasting on incredible fresh local pasta at a family-run farm stay. It's not even a contest, is it? The difference in cost is huge, but the difference in experience is even bigger.
So let's wrap this up with your toolkit. How do you actually do this? First, when you're searching online, look for words like agriturismo or B&B, not just hotel. Next, base your family in smaller villages to really embrace local life. And then, make it a point to explore the national parks and the ancient ruins. And finally, don't be afraid to try something adventurous.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Yeah, you're going to save a lot of money, which is fantastic. But the real win, the real prize, is the experience itself. One that is so much richer, more connected, and way more memorable for you and your family for years to come. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What's it going to be? The wild mountains of Majorca, the ancient temples of Gozo, or the mythical shores of Kefalonia? The adventure is out there, and trust me, it's so much more accessible than you ever thought possible.